Hello guys, today we're going to look into the most criminal cases in history, the 10 most shocking death row inmates and the forbidden items discovered with them before their execution. Mind you, this topic is both intriguing and unsettling. There are unbelievable stories you don't want to miss. Now remember, this video is meant to educate and inform you of the things you don't know, so don't be too scared. Are you ready for this? Now let's get started. Number 1. John Wayne Gacy. First on our list is John Wayne Gacy, a notorious serial killer. Authorities discovered a homemade knife hidden in his cell. John Wayne Gacy was a man who did very bad things. He hurt and killed many young boys near Chicago, Illinois. People called him the Killer Clown because he acted like a clown sometimes. After he was caught, he stayed in a special prison for 14 years, waiting for his punishment. In prison, Gacy started painting pictures. He painted all sorts of things like clowns, Jesus, birds and skulls. He even painted his own house and a famous criminal named John Dillinger. His paintings were shown in exhibitions and even sold at auctions. But in 1983, another man on death row, Henry Brisbane, hurt Gacy. He stabbed him with a sharp wire. Gacy had to go to the prison hospital to get better. Is it not strange that someone who did such bad things could make art? Number 2. Aileen Carol Wuornos. Second on our list is Aileen Wuornos. One of the most infamous female serial killers, was found with a crude shank made from everyday items. Aileen Carol Wuornos, born on February 29, 1956, was a notorious American serial killer. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, she was involved in street prostitution in Florida. During this time, she killed and robbed 7 of her male clients. Wuornos claimed these acts were in self-defense as she believed her clients had either raped or tried to rape her. Her story took a grim turn when she was sentenced to death for 6 of the murders, and she spent over a decade on death row in Florida. On October 9, 2002, Wuornos was executed by lethal injection. Despite her attorney's arguments that she was mentally incompetent, Wuornos insisted on dismissing her legal counsel and ending her appeals. In the final years of her life, she made disturbing allegations of mistreatment in prison, including tampering with her food and threats from prison staff. Wuornos sought humane treatment, but she was executed. Number 3. Theodore Bundy. Number 3 is Theodore Bundy, an American serial killer terrorized the 1970s, confessing to 30 murders in 7 states from 1974 to 1978. His true victim count remains unknown. In July 1984, prison guards discovered 2 hidden hacksaw blades in his cell. Shockingly, Bundy had sawed a steel bar in his cell window, cleverly concealing it with homemade soap glue. Several months later, an unauthorized mirror was found, leading to his cell change. But what was he planning? Bundy's story raises chilling questions about his escape plans. He seemed to be making secret tools and unauthorized connections. Then, in a strange twist, he got into unauthorized correspondence with John Hinckley Jr., the man who attempted to assassinate President Ronald Reagan. What could they have discussed? These events added to the mystery surrounding Bundy, leaving us to wonder about the sinister possibilities if he hadn't been caught. Number 4. Richard Ramirez. Ricardo Richard Leyva Munoz Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, shocked prison staff with a collection of satanic drawings, was a notorious American serial killer and sex offender who committed his crimes in California from June 1984 to August 1985. He was sentenced to death in 1989 and passed away in 2013 while awaiting execution. During his trial in 1988, Ramirez's unsettling behavior, like raising a hand with a pentagram and shouting "Hail Satan," raised concerns. Jail employees even overheard his plan to shoot the prosecutor in the courtroom, which led to the installation of a metal detector and intensive searches of visitors. A shocking event occurred when a juror, Phyllis Singletary, was found shot to death in her apartment in August 1988. Many feared Ramirez's involvement, but it was later revealed that her boyfriend was responsible and had taken his own life. In September 1989, Ramirez was convicted of numerous charges, including murder, attempted murder, sexual assaults and burglaries. He received the death penalty and infamously remarked, "Big deal. Death always went with the territory. See you in Disneyland." The trial was costly, totaling $1.8 million, making it one of the most expensive murder trials in California's history at the time. Number 5. Timothy McVeigh. Number 5 is Timothy McVeigh, born in 1968, did a terrible thing in 1995. He was responsible for the Oklahoma City bombing and found with a detailed map of the prison facility. He caused the death of 168 people, including 19 children, and hurt 680 others. This is a very sad event in US history because it's the worst act of domestic terrorism ever. After the bombing, he was driving and got stopped by a state trooper for not having a license plate and carrying an illegal gun. He had a shirt with a picture of Abraham Lincoln and words like, "Thus always to tyrants," and "The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants." This made people realize he might be involved in the bombing. Later on, he got charged with 11 serious crimes, including using a weapon of mass destruction and murdering law enforcement officers. His trial moved to Denver in 1996. This tragic story raises many questions about why someone would do such a terrible thing and the consequences they face for their actions. Number 6. Albert Fish. Hamilton Howard Albert Fish, a deranged killer, was discovered with a set of needles and a bone-handled saw. Born on May 19, 1870 and executed on January 16, 1936, Albert Fish was a horrifying figure in American history. He was a serial killer, rapist, child molester, and cannibal who committed gruesome crimes. Between July 1924 and June 1928, he took the lives of at least 3 innocent children. People knew him by various names like the Grey Man, the Werewolf of Wisteria, the Brooklyn Vampire, the Moon Maniac, and the Boogeyman. Though suspected of 10 murders, Fish only confessed to 3, which the police could link to actual homicides. He even admitted to stabbing 2 more people. Fish's dark journey led him to prison in March 1935, where he met a chilling end on January 16, 1936, in the electric chair at Sing Sing. His last words, "I don't even know why I'm here," leave us wondering about the mind of a killer. A rumor persisted that it took 2 jolts to end his life, sparking theories that his needles had short-circuited the execution apparatus. The story of Albert Fish is a dark chapter in criminal history, reminding us of the horrors humanity is capable of. What makes a person commit such heinous acts, and how do we prevent such tragedies in the future? Number 7. Gary Gilmore. 7th on our list is Gary Gilmore, a notorious spree killer was found with a makeshift noose. Gary Mark Gilmore, born as Faye Robert Kaufman, is a name linked with a significant moment in American history. In the 1970s, he made headlines worldwide for demanding his own execution after admitting to committing 2 murders in Utah. His wish was fulfilled on January 17, 1977, marking the first execution in the United States in nearly a decade, after the US Supreme Court had revamped death penalty laws. Gilmore's story was no ordinary one. While on death row, he tried to end his own life twice, reflecting the turmoil he was going through. On the fateful day of his execution, he faced a firing squad at the Utah State Prison in Draper. Strapped to a chair with sandbags behind him, he uttered the simple words, "Let's do it." His life and the unusual circumstances of his execution became the subject of the non-fiction novel The Executioner's Song by Norman Mailer, later turned into a TV film starring Tommy Lee Jones. Number 8. Thomas Silverstein. Thomas Edward Silverstein, also known as Thomas Edward Conway, was an American criminal. He was in prison for 42 years because he was convicted of 4 murders while he was already in jail for armed robbery. One of those convictions was later overturned. He spent 36 years alone in prison for killing corrections officer Merle Klutz in Illinois. People said he was a very violent man and used to lead a prison gang called the Aryan Brotherhood. Silverstein believed that the terrible conditions in the prison made him do those terrible things. He stayed in a special cell in ADX Florence in Colorado and was there for the longest time anyone had been kept alone by the Bureau of Prisons. Correctional officers wouldn't talk to him out of respect for Klutz. In 1987, during the Atlanta prison riots, Silverstein was let out of his cell by Cuban detainees, but they gave him to the FBI's hostage rescue team later. They were scared he might hurt other officers. He passed away on May 11, 2019 at St. Anthony Hospital in Colorado due to heart surgery complications. Number 9. Robert Alton Harris. Number 9 is Robert Alton Harris, a convicted murderer, was found with a chilling letter detailing his final wishes. Robert Alton Harris was an American criminal who committed grave acts. In 1992, he was executed at San Quentin State Prison for the 1978 murders of 2 young boys in San Diego. This event marked the first execution in California in 25 years. Harris had a troubled past, but Governor Pete Wilson refused clemency, emphasizing the severity of his crimes. Legal battles surrounded Harris. His death sentence faced numerous appeals and stays. Judges debated the method of execution and the constitutionality of the gas chamber. Ultimately, on April 21, 1992, at 3:49 a.m., Harris was executed in the gas chamber. Despite attempts to delay, the US Supreme Court mandated his execution. For his last meal, Harris requested a sizable feast including fried chicken, pizza, jelly beans, soda and cigarettes. His execution was solemnly carried out, ending a chapter of controversy and legal struggling. Number 10. Velma Barfield. The last 10 is Velma Barfield, one of the few female death row inmates had possession of a lethal concoction of chemicals. Margie Velma Barfield, born in 1932, was a convicted American serial killer who confessed to 6 murders. She was executed on November 2, 1984, making her the first woman to be executed in the United States since the resumption of capital punishment in 1976. Barfield's journey on death row was unusual. She found faith and spent her last years ministering to fellow inmates. Renowned evangelist Billy Graham praised her efforts, and there was even an attempt to commute her sentence to life imprisonment due to her dedication to Christian ministry. Another intriguing aspect of her case was the claim that she suffered from dissociative identity disorder. A psychiatrist, Dorothy Otno Lewis, suggested that Barfield had an alternate personality named Billy, who claimed to have committed the crimes. However, this argument didn't sway the judge, and her appeal was ultimately denied. Despite some political controversy surrounding her case, Barfield was executed, apologizing to the families affected. She chose cheese doodles and Coca-Cola as her last meal and was buried in a rural North Carolina cemetery near her first husband. Which of these criminal stories and items shocks you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more updates. Thanks for being here, and we'll catch you next time.